Okay, welcome back everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you all of you listening and participating on ACIM Gather. And now, thank you so much everybody who is watching this video on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching our videos, lovingly prepared for us by our very talented assistant minister, Reverend Kelly Halleck. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch all our videos. All of the Sunday gathering teachings are put up on video. In fact, I don't think we've missed one in almost 2 years now. So, since we started, we haven't missed one. An amazing technical accomplishment. Okay, impossible situations and new abilities. That's the title of my talk today. So, in the reading that I read just a few minutes ago, there is this quote. And this quote has been very important for me at various times in my life. It says, in an impossible situation, you can develop your abilities to the point where you can get out of it. You have a guide on how to develop them, but you have no commander except yourself. So we have all the guidance that we need, but we do have to take command. We do have to do whatever it is, do the discipline, whatever we're guided to do. We have to do our part. But it's not like we don't have the direction or we don't have the information, or we don't even, it's not that we don't have a model. We have all of those things, but we do have to take charge. We have to rule. There's that workbook lesson that says, I rule my mind, which I alone must rule. So, you know, we have to be ruler at times. It's not passive. Something active is required of us. But all the information that we might need is always there. A little later in the next paragraph it says, you are in an impossible situation only because you thought it was possible to be in one. So the only reason why some difficulty that may seem impossible has cropped up in our lives is because of the belief system that we have. We believe that this is possible for us. And so our beliefs are manifested in the world. I get that teaching from A Course in Miracles. I've gotten it from many things that I have studied. Our beliefs are manifested. The world actually is a global, literally, manifestation of our belief systems. And so the things that are in our lives are there because we believe them possible. And that's why we may seem to be in an impossible situation. But we can develop whatever abilities that we may need to get out of that situation, even if we do not feel we have those abilities at the moment. People will frequently default to some statement that, you know, I don't have the ability to handle that. If it's up for you to handle, and the Holy Spirit is guiding you to handle it, then yeah, you may not have the abilities, but you could develop them. And something active may be required on your part. You may have to be a commander. So I'm talking about impossible situations. So we can develop the abilities that we need to get out of these impossible situations. But we might have to, no, we always have to really be the commander. We have to take charge. There are things that are asked of us. You know, in A Course in Miracles, people like to talk a lot about what the body is. The body is a communication device, and you know, there's a lot of things that people say about the body. The body proves separation, yada yada. But this is something that A Course says about the body that I don't hear quoted at all. It says the body is nothing more than a framework for developing abilities. It is therefore a mean for developing potentials, which is quite apart from what the potentials is used for. So the body is actually a framework for developing abilities. Put that in your little arsenal of things to think about the body. It's a framework for developing abilities. And we need to develop abilities, as the reading says. It's the most charitable way for us to approach our lives here in this world, is to use our body, use our lives to develop the abilities that we need to get through our life and to be of service to the Holy Spirit, to really do what the Holy Spirit wants us to do. We do have the ability to do that, or we can develop the abilities to do that when we take charge. So why this has been up for me a lot recently is because it's been time for me to do my taxes. And I took an extension in April, and when you take an extension, an automatic extension, you get 5 months, which means October 15th, which is today, but actually since it falls on Sunday, they give you till tomorrow. That means tomorrow is the deadline for doing taxes. Now, I have always done all my own bookkeeping, and my bookkeeping is rather complicated. And I probably do way more bookkeeping personally than almost anybody I know. And with my sister, I own some property back on the East Coast. I have a retirement account that I keep track of every transaction, and I have an investment account that I've had for years that I keep track of every transaction in. I have 2 mutual funds that I have had since I worked as a waiter over 30 years ago that I keep track of every little transaction in, every little interest. I have 2 credit cards, every transaction. I also keep track of all my cash transactions that are over like 15 bucks, things like that. So, I mean, I keep track of everything because I'm self-employed and a lot of things can get written off as business expenses. So, I mean, this is just what I feel I have to do. But we moved in January. I had kept all of my personal finance papers back at the old office. I had to move them back to my home. They were there. I can't really say they were a mess, but they weren't organized. Now I had access to different computers. The computer I had at home is a modern computer, and I needed to install new software so that I could, a new version of Quicken, so that I could do my bookkeeping. So there were all these things that I had to do to handle all my bookkeeping for 2016, and done any bookkeeping for 2016. That means I was 21 months behind in bookkeeping. That's a pretty long time to be behind in bookkeeping. And we're really busy at the Community Miracle Center. And I didn't feel like I had the ability to do all this in the time. I also had been on a little bit of a low. My energy was low. It seemed like my ability to concentrate had been affected. And when your body is 65 years old, like mine is, and your ability to concentrate feels affected, you walk right into that thought system that says, this is what happens when you get older. You just don't have the mental acuity that you used to. And yeah, like 10 years ago, you probably could have wrapped your mind around this piece of software, but you know, you don't have the mental ability that you, and that's just the spin of that thought system. And I recognize that, but it's real easy to believe in that when you walk into it. It just didn't seem doable. I did not feel like I had the ability. However, I remembered the A Course in Miracles quote that when you're in an impossible situation, you can develop the abilities that you need to get out of it. And the truth is, I don't believe in any of those age things. I really don't. I actively defy all those ideas. And Holy Spirit was giving me the message that I could do it. I just had to believe Him. I had to take command. I had to be the commander. I had to develop the abilities that I needed to develop in order to do the job. And so you just jump in and you just start. And it was difficult. Like I said, I was feeling tired. And there is that, data on my driver's license and birth certificate. And I just went, yeah, well, you're just not physically as strong as you used to be either, Tony. I had that one spinning around. So I was challenged, and I got the guidance that what I really needed to do was to exercise. Now, that's kind of an unusual bit of guidance to do. And I've exercised on and off at different times in my life, but I hadn't been exercising too much lately. And I really got that was a mistake, that I needed more energy. And I knew that if I exercised regularly, I would feel more energetic. I just knew that, because I've had that experience before. But it was still really, really hard to push myself to start to do that. And then you have all those other Course in Miracles ideas like this one. Whenever you attempt to reach a goal in which the body's betterment is cast as major beneficiary, you try to bring about your death. That's pretty gruesome. So, why would I exercise? Why would I try to do something that would better my body? And the thing about this quotation is you really have to get the adjective. So it says, whenever you attempt to reach a goal in which the body's betterment is cast as major beneficiary. So, it wasn't about that I wanted my body to be stronger. I wanted my energy to be better. I wanted my anxiety to be less. I wanted my mental health to be better. I have mental health challenges. I wanted that to be better. And I know, I've read lots of research, and I know from personal experience, if I'm exercising regularly, my depression, my anxiety, all those things that can be troubling is just better. It's not as much of a problem. I can wake up in the morning and get started. It's not that much of a slog to push through this fatigue and this lowered feeling. And then we had started this new program called the Healing Team that I've been talking about because it's been very inspirational for me. And we've been doing this for a couple of weeks, and I'm calling members and talking to them about joining the Healing Team, and it's useful to call members on their birthday because then I sing them happy birthday and chat with them. So it was Reverend Josh Hahn's birthday, and I called Reverend Josh, and Reverend Josh has gone through this amazing transformation. He must have lost 70 pounds. I don't, you see his pictures, and he just looks like a whole different guy. And so I called him to sing him happy birthday, and I said, Josh, Reverend Josh, you just look amazing. What's going on? And he just told me what his new dietary thing was, and that he's exercising a lot. And right in the back of my head, Holy Spirit just was saying, that's what you got to do, Tony. That's what you got to do. And I said, okay, Holy Spirit, if Reverend Josh can do it, I can do it. What's Reverend Josh got on me, except for being 30 years younger? And, but I don't believe any of that age stuff. So I just surrendered to it. And I just want to declare that I had now 38 days of rigorously exercising every single day. And I'm really working towards 2 more because they tell you if you do something for 40 days, you really establish a new pattern. So I just got 2 more days to do the 40 days, and it's great. My energy is better, my anxiety is less, my depression is less. I wake up in the morning and I want to do things. I want to get going. I do the Healing Team stuff. I do my meditation. I'm meditating better than I ever have. I'm doing the lesson better than I ever have. I'm doing all the healing prayer list stuff, and then I want to get started. I don't have to push myself anymore. And it was really a little counterintuitive because rigorously exercising every day takes almost an hour. I can, even if I abbreviate it to the most that I can abbreviate it, it's probably 50 minutes. I probably can't get past it in any shorter time than that. So here I am feeling really time challenged, and I'm dedicating myself to do something that's going to take me an hour a day. That seems like a little bit like I can't do that. I don't have that time. But I just have to trust the Holy Spirit's guidance. There's a lot of impossible situations that I've encountered, that we have encountered, the Community Miracle Center has encountered, that we have pushed through and developed ability to get through. Last year, we ran in the red. We had been in the red the year before. Last year we were really in the red, $30,066 in the red. I mean, that's quite a bit in the red. I think the year before we were $14,000 in the red, or something like $15,000. So, I mean, that's in 2 years to $46,000 in the red. That's huge. So we had to do something, but it seemed like an impossible situation. I didn't know what to do. But it seemed like we had to get out of the lease that we were in because it was too expensive. We didn't really need the place that we were in. And I did not feel like I had the ability to handle any of that. But there we were, and we had to handle it, and I had to trust that Holy Spirit would guide us. And part of the ability was all that Reverend Kelly did so much, to just push through and be the cheerleader and do so much to get us moved. And we had to go through 30 years of files and stuff. We had a big space that was packed full of stuff that we had to get rid of. And just the project of going through that seemed, I didn't have the ability to do that. But you just take command and you just trust. It was an impossible situation, but you developed the ability to get through it. And I'm now happy to report, because I just finished the third quarter report for 2017, and we're solidly in the black again, the Community Miracle Center. So I think we're $3,000 some in the black for the year so far, and the fourth quarter should be a decent quarter for us. So in all likelihood, we will solidly finish 2017 in the black. So great. I didn't know we had that ability, but I knew the guidance was there, and so we developed that ability. We got through the impossible situation by taking command and just doing what you need to do, and trust that Holy Spirit, Jesus, going to give you the ability. You will develop the ability. We have been confronted with declining membership, Community Miracle Center, and that was a little troubling, and there were a number of reasons for the declining membership that seemed logical, but the end result was still declining membership. A lot of our members were older. Some of them actually made their transition. So, you know, it's hard to argue that one. And other, you know, financial things happen to some people. A number of people become members because they want to be involved in our ordination program. We ordained a bunch of them, and then they can not be members anymore if they choose not to be. A number of them took that. A number of people quit being members because of my Las Vegas presentation last year in 2016. So, okay, so my presentation in Las Vegas bothered some people enough so that they decided they no longer wanted to be members. I had to deal with that. That was a little troubling. And so I asked for guidance. I didn't know. I didn't feel like I had the ability. What was this ability that I needed to increase membership? I didn't know what it was. But it seemed like that's what Holy Spirit wanted me to do. I had to take command. So you do whatever you're guided to do. So I went to a coach. I went to a life coach. 4 sessions with a life coach, Andrew, up in Mount Shasta, $100 a session. Gave me a deal for 4 sessions, $400. He suggested a bunch of things. 2 things was exercise every day, never make an excuse. Took me a year to follow that guidance. Never make an excuse, exercise every day. I knew he was right, just couldn't do it right at the time. But he also told me to listen to the spiritual teacher that was had a spiritual approach to fundraising. Her name is Lynn Twist, and I've talked about her a little bit before. And so I did. I started listening to Lynn Twist, and she was amazing. This very spiritual approach to fundraising. And what she said in one of her videos that I watch is that people will give because they support your organization, but that's charity. And she goes, and charity is not the most powerful way to get people to give. It's much better to get people to give if you can make them partners in what you're doing in some sort of way. The people want to be partners with you in your mission. They don't necessarily just want to give you money as charity. And so it was, I like working with that, and how can we involve our members more in real spiritual partnership? And that was right around a couple months ago when our whole healing list was increasing and we needed more people to work with the healing list. And I thought, we can ask our members to become part of a team that's praying for this list every day, because this list really needs the prayer help. So got that guidance, developed the healing team, started promoting the healing team. We now have 14 new supporting members who have joined the healing team, because the healing team is a way for them to partner with us. It's an active commitment to do something every day, to pray every day on that list that I read here after the meditation. It's not charity, it's real spiritual partnership. And of course that meant that that I have to explain the program to people and ask people to become members, which means asking people to give money, and I have to be totally comfortable with that. And I never really thought that was my forte. I didn't really feel like I had the ability to do that. That was an impossible situation. Here's what I was confronted with, and yet I had to develop the ability. You just have to develop the ability. So I started watching those videos over and over again. They were really inspiring. I realized that I had seen Lynn Twist give a presentation like 35 years ago, where she introduced the Hunger Project, and I just remember being totally inspired by her then. And then I realized, this is that same woman I saw 35 years ago. She's the Hunger, yeah, Rudy gave me the clue. Rudy said, that's the Hunger Project woman, isn't it? I go, I think you're right. And then in one of the videos she talks about the Hunger Project, and then I realized it was her. So, you know, and Lynn Twist said something in one of the videos where she's really just talking about what a joy it is for her to ask for money. It's just a joy. And she like tears up. I mean, she's so moved by her special function of being a fundraiser that she just communicates it. And she really sees it as the reallocation of the world's resources towards love and healing. That we spend money on all kinds of things we don't need and don't really want, and it just goes to clutter, and it just goes to storage. And as Rudy pointed out, the storage industry now generates more money than the U.S. auto industry. You know, can think about that. The people pay more money to store stuff they don't need or want than we spend on cars. I mean, that's huge. And so Lynn Twist sort of sees herself, or just sees herself as reallocating the world's resources. And she imbued in me that same sense. So I pitch to people now, I talk to people, and it's not always met positively. I was looking at all the people that I've talked to, you know, all the new people that I've given like an hour of time, video calls, so that I can actually talk to them. And I counted 5. 5 of those people said no. But you know what? It's great. I'm doing what I need to do. It is absolutely fine that they say no. It's absolutely within their right. And I am grateful that they gave me the opportunity to just talk to them about it and to fulfill my special function, and that they engaged themselves in the question long enough and they were guided to say no, and that's fine. And I have to say that I don't think I'm a great fundraiser, but I'm getting better and better. I am developing the ability that I need, which is to be truly inspired in the process myself in order to communicate it. So all the impossible situations that we have in our lives, whatever they are, and I'm almost done with my taxes, I should transmit them tonight, we can develop the abilities that we need to get through them. We have to command ourselves. We have to take charge. And when we do that, it's there. Because we're only in that impossible situation because we thought it was possible for us to be in it. It has no inherent strength in and of itself. And actually, we only manifested it because we wanted to develop the ability to push through it. So take command and push through whatever impossible situations that you have in your life, and follow your guides and your models and your inspiration, and step forward in true faith. The ability will be there. That's my talk for today. Thank you.